So we're hitting the fender, right? So why bother skinning the door when we're just gonna have to cut it again anyway? So we'll get it all done at one time. It's just one of the things you should be thinking about if you're gonna think about doing suicide doors. So now what do we have to do? We're gonna cut this door, change the bottom, so then when it doesn't close back up, then it's not gonna match here, right? We radius this, then this piece is detachable. In order to make this solid, we got to weld this to this and then redo the interior portion to match the curvature of the door. So I guess you got to decide how you're going to cut this, right? So I got this door closed. We can follow this body line on this fender, right? Let me just show you. So I think that's what we'll do, right? It'll just look like the door was cut, manufactured to clear this fender, like Chevrolet thought of it. Now we have to take the whole door off, or take the fender off and cut the other side. Alright, so this is our outer line, right? Then we're going to have to carry this all the way across here to relieve it. And I'm going to go over and around and give myself some more space, because we're going to have to come back and put 16 gauge in here, keep the radius. We're going to have to be able to put the door skin on here and wrap it, make it look like it's supposed to, and still at the whole time clear that fender. So you see the curve, and we have space, so we can come in and fill that. I don't know how I'm going to leave it yet. We'll see. I mean, even if our fender alignment is off, we've got, you know, an inch to play with. Even if our door alignment's off, we've got an inch to play with. Then we're going to have to come back and make the outer piece, right? So we're going to have to gap it and put it right here for like this, for your door gap, and you tie that all together right here. And still leave a little bit of this sticking out because it doesn't run flush. So basically this piece is just so we can put another piece on top of it and tie it in here. I like it. I'll be right back. Except, what am I doing wrong here? I gotta go all the way to the end. Okay. So now we got to put another piece right here, right, for our door gap, like this much, right there. And then we got to tie that into this one. if we're going to make it match. And it looks like it's going to come to the very end. So it would probably be easier to take a piece and then bend the edge, hit it there, and get it into there. I'm going to have to clean this down though. So here's what we got. We got about 7 millimeters here, right? So we're good. And then this gap is 10 millimeters wide, just like the rest of the truck. So this lines up here. It's a little proud or a little short, but don't forget I got to wrap this door skin around this side. I'm gonna have to trim this back a little bit more, but not much, because this gap is 6 millimeters. This gap is 8 millimeters. So I can cut this down, wrap it, and still have my proper gap once I'm lined up, which is about 3 millimeters. So I should be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this in, and I'm going to fill this. So even though like all of this is hidden underneath the fender, but still it's going to look like one solid piece, like it was part of the truck the whole time. Gotta finish up in here. Gotta skin this door and then get it all blended. But that's pretty good. Remember, fender comes right here, so it'll, you know, there's a transition there. Grinding in these 90s is kind of hard. I'm gonna have to break out the Dremel tool, and then I have to finish filling this one. But that's what, now that won't be so hard. So this is good right here. I want that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. My bottom piece is pretty close. It needs to come back this way, right? So I need to cut it at an angle. And then the top piece is touching. So trim again, leave this corner because we'll build coming right down here for our door gap piece. I'm going to trim that piece again and then refit it. Be right back. I like that. I think I can show you. Yeah. See how we're skipping? We're not touching that. And I really can't see the top, but hold on. So now our gap between the rocker panel and the door looks pretty good. It's a little bit high in the middle, but it's not off by much. Right? So our door gap looks good here, right? So what we have to do now is I'm going to cut this back, this piece, cut it like this, straight line it, and then get a piece of 16 gauge. We're going to weld it on here. We'll come out to like right there and go all the way up to here and meet this other piece of 16 gauge. Then when we wrap the next 18 gauge around for our door skin, we'll get our gap there. It's not going to be easy, but I did this on purpose, right? So 16 gauge flat will lay right there and go straight up. But 15 millimeters, and we want 3 millimeter door gap, so we'll cut a piece that's 11 millimeters, because we're going to wrap around and weld that going like this. So our baseline is going to be this corner right here, 11 millimeters. So yesterday we straightened this out. This door straight. When I put a straight edge on it, it's straight. The problem is this cab is a little bit crooked, right? It was more crooked, but if you get one of those body fender kits, this will slide in behind and you can tap, tap, tap. So that's about as straight as I can get it. It's just going to have to be acceptable. Unless I fill it with some mud, and then I can straighten it out a little bit more. That's also a possibility, because I'm going to have to do that up here. I'm not welding. I don't really feel like trying to weld this up to make it match, so we'll fill it with some fiberglass. And then we'll put mud over it and smooth it all out, make it look like it's supposed to, get it out all gapped out correctly. But for the outside of the door, except for the, this part and the big keyhole or the door handle hole, we're done with the outside door mods for suicide hinge kit install. So now we got to flip to the inside of the door.